Do you
Yeah,
sometimes?
I do. Yeah, I
Yeah.
do sometimes.
Okay, so sometimes. All right. I think again it's a common one. Thank you, Ming. Jung, good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
How are you?
Yeah, I'm a little bit tired because
Oh.
yeah, yeah.
Um, was you out late last night with friends?
Oh no, I'm stay up late this day.
Ah, you stay up late. Okay. All right, good. Well, not good if you're tired. But do you ever have difficulty understanding what your parents say?
Yes, of course. Especially I am in adolescent.
Oh,
Yeah,
good word.
sometimes they try to explain their idea or their point of view to me, but
Mm.
I feel hard to keep calm to listen to them.
Ah, okay. Yeah, well, I think that's a common problem when there is the child and the parents. And I like that, the fact you find it hard to keep calm. Okay, thank you. Ang, good morning.
Yes, good morning, teacher. Good morning, everyone.
How
Um,
are you today?
I'm very well, thank you.
So, do you ever have difficulty understanding what your parents say or their point of view?
Yes, sometimes my parents um, tell uh, story and I don't understand their story, and
Ah,
they have to explain to me.
okay. Yeah. I think it seems to be the same with everyone. Okay, thank you. Well said, Hang. Two, good morning.
Morning, teacher and everybody.
And how is two today?
And fine, thank you.
Good. So, do you ever have difficulty understanding your parents and what they say?
Sure, sometimes I have difficulty to understand with my parents say because the main thing is money, how to use it. Yes, my parents never talk to me how to get money, but the way I spend money, sometimes they try to limit because because they think it's just very waste.
Wasteful, yeah. So you would say wasteful. Uh,
Wasteful, yes.
yeah. Okay. Yeah. Again.
Just such as I want to buy the, air conditioner or something like that. So say that is very wasteful because
uh,
the open air is very good or something like that. Yes.
along those. Okay. Yeah. That's true. Again, that's another problem as well. I think a lot of people face is they don't quite get how you would spend money. All right, that's a good one. I like that. Thank you.
Yes.
Brilliant. Fong, good morning.
Yes, good morning, teacher and everyone. My name is Spoon, and I'm 22 years old.
And how are you today?
I'm so like every day.
So. Okay, I like that. Okay. So do you ever have difficulty understanding what your parents say or what they mean and their views?
I think seldomly,
Ah,
rarely,
good.
because my parents are not that old-fashioned. They read news every day, so maybe their point of view is modern, uh, not too conservative.
Oh, okay, that's nice. That's good to hear. All right, so modern parents, yeah, you can have those. So seldomly do you just sort of like disagree or have difficulty understanding each other's points of views? Okay, that's nice. Yeah, I think you're a lucky lady.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. And last person, um, hi, morning.
Yeah, good morning, teacher, and good morning, everyone.
My name is I, and I'm fine today. I'm waiting for weekend.
Yeah, so am I. Even I am a bit busy this weekend, but I'm still waiting for the weekend. It's still nice. Okay, cool. So, do you ever have difficulty understanding what your parents say?
I think I am so lucky because my parents they love me so much, and most of time we can understand each other. But sometimes we still have the generation gap.
Yeah.
For example, every time I get my mom's permission to go out, she often say no.
Okay. How old are you, I?
I am
Don't
10.
mind.
Yeah, I am. My mom is 55.
Okay, and you are 27.
Yeah, and I am 26.
26. Okay, and you. I think that's still nice that you ask your mum permission at 26. Certainly in London, where I am from, a 26-year-old would not be asking her mum for permission to go out. They would just go out rather than asking permission. So I actually think that's quite nice that you do ask permission still.
Yeah, I think most of Vietnamese parents, so they are so conservative, so they take care their children until their children is adult.
Okay, but at 26, I would say you are an adult, yes?
Yes.
Okay, all right, brilliant. And sorry, Jung, I forgot that you were only listening today, so I won't ask you any more questions. I apologize, Jung. Okay, so there's some good answers there, so very good. Okay, so here's another simple question. Ming, if you can look at the picture on this slide, okay? What do you think about this picture?
This picture shows a very big generation gap between old people and young people. The young people or the young girls are using their phone while the old people are reading newspaper,
Yeah.
giving us a taste of the past and the future.
I like that. Very good. Yeah, I like that, giving us a taste of the past and the future. Yeah, it does show what the older generation there, the two gentlemen, they're used to reading an actual physical newspaper, and whereas the young girls, they've only ever grown up using their smartphones and reading the news on the smartphone. Okay, so well said, Ming. I like that. It's a good expression. Hang. What do you think about the picture?
I think I agree with Ming. I think it's a big gap, big generation gap. The older like reading paper, and the teenage like using smartphone. Maybe they read news on the smartphone. Maybe they read news, but they read in the smartphone.
Yeah.
And the read news in the newspaper. I think it's a habit.
Yes, you're right. It is a habit. It's what they've been brought up with. So for them, digital devices such as smartphones and that were always around. Now there are two older men there. I'm sure when they were teenagers, there was no smartphones, so they're not used to using a digital device to read their news and things. Okay, well said, Hang. Thank you. Ooh. What do you think about this picture?
Yes, see this picture, I think there is a big generation gap. You see, the older like traditional, and the young people like to be like modern technology.
Yeah.
So you see different in a crowd. Young people are colorful and
Oh, that's an interesting observation. That's very true, actually. I hadn't even really noticed that, but now you mention it, that's very true. Very colourful. Ah, I like that.
something like that. Yes, I think big gap in 2 generations.
Yeah. Okay. Very good observation there about the colour of the clothes and everything. Okay. Cool. Well done too. What do you think? Showing us.
Yeah, I think that everybody already said the ideas, and I have the same idea. There's not much to talk about this picture.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, so I think most people first read.
Yeah, but beside the colorful clothing, I also think that the attitudes. Can you see that the two girls, their face, their expression is too tired, like they down. And the man who reading newspaper, it look like he's reading serious, strict, and the other one is sleeping.
I'm not sure if he's sleeping, but he certainly looks like he's sleeping. Yeah, that's interesting. Again, there's some very good observations, man. Here, facial expressions as well. I like it. Some very good people watching here. I agree. Interestingly, though, now this picture shows the older generation reading the traditional newspapers and everything. But I'm not sure. But I also know a lot of the older generation, certainly in London, they do use smartphones and that a lot as well. Some of them have made the switch and are they're caught up with technology. I'm not sure how much that happens here in Vietnam, but there are certainly other generations in the UK that will read the news on their smartphone or their iPad. I think the iPad needs to be bigger so they can see. What do you think about this picture? And I appreciate the fact that a lot has already been said about this picture previously.
Yeah, from the picture we can see that the elderly and the youth have very different style. Like for the entertainment, the elderly like to read newspaper, and the youth like to play game or take the message with their mobile phone. And I think that is the reason why we have generation gap in our society.
Yeah, things have changed quite a bit, technology-wise and communication-wise in the last I would say 20 years. In the last 20 years, things have changed really quickly, sort of laptops, smartphones, tablets, and all that's those sort of modern devices. So it's a big difference from when, say, the elderly there were teenagers and things like that. So I think that's, at this moment, this generation gap is quite big. You're right in saying that, so I think it's a big difference. Well said. Some very good observations there from you guys, and nicely put as well. Some good words and phrases being used. Cool, just from the first picture. Okay, so we've got some words that we would associate with this as a topic, and I'm just going to ask you to listen and repeat. Then to define one of those words, and then also see if you can create a sentence using that word. So, Ming, would you like to go first? So if you can listen and repeat after me, please. So, generation.
Generation.
Elderly.
Elderly.
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Narrow-minded.
Narrow-minded.
Stubborn.
Stubborn.
And conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah, well done. Well said. Would you like to choose one of those words, Ming, and define it for us?
Okay, I will define generation. Generation means like a time where there is this much people live. and when they die, they leave the new generation.
Yeah, so it is a time. The best way to explain it would be a generation is a period of time. So like it's sort of maybe 15, it could be 10, 15 or 20 years of when a certain group of people are living. So you're quite right with that. So that's a good definition. Would you like to create a sentence using the noun generation for me, Ming?
Okay. Many generations has passed, but humans have not reached the top technology yet.
Okay, so many generations have passed. But humans have what? Sorry, what was the last part of your sentence, Ming?
Human has not reached the top technologies yet.
The humans have not reached the top technology yet. Okay, I like that as a sentence though. So many generations have passed, but humans have not reached the top of technology yet, I would say. Or you could say not yet reached.
Yeah.
Could possibly be about so not yet reached. Actually, thinking about it. Okay. Jung would like to have a go. Thank you, Ming. That was a very good sentence. Brilliant. Well done. Jung, of course, you can repeat these words. So would you like to listen and repeat after me, Jung? So generation.
Generation.
Yep. Elderly.
Elderly.
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Narrow-minded.
Narrow-minded.
Stubborn.
Stubborn.
And conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah, okay, well done. Did you want to have a go at defining one of these words?
Yeah, I choose the word, the second, elderly.
Okay, elderly.
Means someone who is older and have more experience than the younger.
Yeah. No, you were right the first time. I have more experience than the young, so I would say that. So that's good. Yeah, good definition. Would you like to create a sentence for us then, using the adjective elderly?
Yeah, the elderly should be taken care of by the young generation.
Should be taken care of by the taken care of younger generation. Okay, good. Sentence. The elderly should be taken care of by the younger generation. Okay, good sentence. Well done, Young. Thank you. Hang. Would you like to listen and repeat after me? So, generation.
Generation.
Elderly.
Elderly.
Grumpy.
Grumpy.
Narrow-minded.
Narrow-minded.
Stubborn.
Stubborn.
And conservative.
Conservative.
Well said. Would you like to choose one of the four remaining words and define it for us?
I choose number 3, grumpy.
Okay, good.
It means it's not the friendly and
Yeah, that's right. Well, you're basically, yeah, not friendly. Another way I would say to be maybe not in a good mood, or you could say in a slightly bad mood.
yes, yes.
Okay, good. Would you like to create a sentence using the word grumpy?
He is so grumpy, so I don't want to make friends with him.
I don't want to make. Okay, he's so grumpy. You'd say, I don't want to make friends. Yeah, that's it. Okay, good sentence. I like that. Yep. Thank you very much, Hang. 2. would you like to now have a go at listening and repeating after me? So, generation,
Generation.
elderly,
Elderly.
grumpy,
Grumpy.
narrow-minded,
Narrow-minded.
stubborn,
Stubborn.
and conservative.
Conservative.
Yeah, well said. Would you like to choose one of the three remaining words and define one of those for us?
Yes, I choose number 4, narrow-minded.
Okay.
Yes, narrow-minded is the opposite with open-minded.
Correct. The opposite of narrow-minded is open-minded. Would you like to possibly explain a little bit more about narrow-minded?
Narrow-minded is the characteristic of people who is not easy to sympathize with other idea and
Yeah, excellent. So I was waiting to make sure that you're narrow-minded. Yes, basically it's people that have a particular idea or way of thinking, and they are not open to suggestion or sympathetic to other possible ways of thinking or other views. That's when you say you're narrow-minded.
Yes.
Well done. Would you like to create a sentence for me using the noun narrow-minded?
yes, only by communicating more often and not being narrow-minded can we understand each other.
Good sentence. So only by communicating. Would you mind repeating that slightly slower so I can type the sentence for you?
Yes.
So only by communicating.
Only by communicating more often and not being narrow-minded can we understand each other.
Being minded. Good sentence. Thank you too. I like that. Only by communicating more often and not being narrow-minded can we understand each other.
Yes.
Nice sentence. Thank you.
Yes.
Wrong. Your turn. Would you like to listen and repeat after me? So, generation,
Generation.
elderly,
Elderly.
grumpy,
Grumpy.
narrow-minded,
Narrow-minded.
stubborn,
Stubborn.
conservative.
Conservative.
Excellent. You've got a choice of two words. Which one would you like to define for us?
Okay, I choose stubborn. Stubborn
Okay.
means that someone refusing to change your ideas or to stop doing something.
Yeah, so they refuse to change their ideas, you'd say their ideas, their ideas. That's perfectly it. So someone has a particular view, and regardless of what anyone else would say, they refuse to change it in any fashion. Okay, well done. Would you like to use a sentence for me? Sorry,
Okay.
create a sentence using the word.
My sentence is she's strong, but she's too stubborn to admit it.
So, could you say that again for me?
She's strong,
Yeah.
but she's too stubborn to admit it.
She's
Stubborn.
to admit it. So she is strong, but she's too stubborn to admit it.
Wrong, not right.
Could you type your sentence? Sorry, because maybe I'm not hearing you clearly.
She is wrong, but she's too.
Wrong. Sorry. Okay. So yeah, she is wrong, but she is too stubborn to admit it. That makes more sense with your sentence. I wasn't quite sure, so that's why I was saying she is wrong. Yeah, and that's a common thing as well. Lots of people who are wrong, but refuse to admit it. So yeah, that's brilliant. Okay, good sentence. I like that. Brilliant. Okay, thanks very much. Okay, and last person. Would you like to listen and repeat after me? So, generation,
Generation.
elderly,
Elderly.
grumpy,
Grumpy.
narrow-minded,
Narrow-minded.
stubborn,
Stubborn.
and conservative.
Conservative.
Okay, I'm afraid you don't have a choice. You have to define conservative for us.
Yeah, and conservative person means a person who follow traditional views and values. He
Yeah, so
he often have narrow-minded.
that's interesting. Yeah, a person that is conservative can sometimes be narrow-minded. That's a very good point. I like that. Very
And
good.
my sentence is when you meet a conservative person, it's very important to make a good first impression.
When you meet a conservative person, it is important to make a good
First impression.
to make a good first impression. That's a good sentence. And also, that's quite true as well, I think, because conservative people, that's important to them, their first impressions. And once they've made that impression, they very rarely change it, their first thoughts on meeting you. Okay, very good sentence. So today is some really good, excellent sentences being done by everyone. Thank you. Okay, so we now have an idiom and a phrase. I think these ones you'll hear quite commonly, actually, thinking about it. The first, the idiom, when we have bridge the gap. And it is quite literal in its meaning, really. So we make a connection where there is a great difference. So you would, if two people have very different ideas, maybe they've come from two different cultures, and then they speak and talk and explain, it's said that they are bridging the gap between their two ways of thinking. So that's when we say normally bridging the gap. So we could say we're bridging the gap between the older generation and the newer or younger generation by getting them to explain maybe how to use technology. So we could explain to an elderly person how to use a smartphone. That would be an example of bridging the gap between technology and generations. Okay, and then there is a phrase to differ in something. Yeah, I think you guys, judging by your levels today, will understand this one. Differ in something is when two people or two things are very different in specific ways. I think that one's quite easy to understand and to use. Okay, so what I'll ask is, Ming, would you like to choose either the idiom or the phrase and create an example sentence for us?
Okay. Even though me and my best friend are different thoughts, we still work well with each other.
Even though my friend and I, we would say differ, we are still good friends, did you say? Yeah, still good friends. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put a slight correction in there. You would say, even though my friend and I differ, we are still good friends. Okay? When we are got a sentence or we're talking and you are referring to yourself or other people within the sentence, Ming, what you do is you'd actually talk about the other people first or mention the other people first. So if you can see here in that sentence, I said, my friend and I, yeah? That would be very good, proper English. So if they were talking about two other people, you would say, Johnny, Lisa, and I went to the park. You always refer to yourself as the last person or mention yourself lastly in the sentence. That
Okay.
if you want to be really good, precise English. The way you said it wasn't wrong, but what they would say, if you were doing sort of British English or something like that, you'd refer to yourself lastly in that sentence. But a good sentence anyway. Thank you. Jung, who wants to take part in the class now, would you like to have a go at creating an example sentence using either of these, either the idiom or the phrase?
Yeah. My best friend and I are different from each other in reaching a conclusion.
My best friend and I are.
Reaching a conclusion. I'm sorry.
And that's all right. Are different. Me and my friend and my best friend. Sorry, I can't speak today for some reason. My best friend and I. You said are different, and like in Min's example, we could say best friend and I differ.
Yeah.
Sorry, what was the last part of your sentence?
Differ in making a conclusion.
Making a, okay, and that word there, I think you're trying to say is conclusion.
Conclusion.
Conclusion. So coming to an answer or a solution to your whatever you're talking about. So my best friend and I differ in making a conclusion. So working something out. Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. So conclusion, which means so you finding out an answer or solving a problem when you come to a conclusion. Okay, well done. Thank you, Jung. Hang, would you like to have a go at creating a sentence for us using either the idiom or phrase?
Yes, because of differ in thinking. I and my best friend have a different lifestyle.
Okay, because we differ in thinking, my boss and I have a
Different lifestyle.
Lifestyle. Okay, that's a good sentence. So, because we differ in thinking, my boss and I have a different lifestyle. Or we could say, another way of wording that as well is we could say, because we differ in thinking, my boss and I have different, we would say we have, use the word, different life. Oh. So you could also say like that, it's a slight change. So we've removed the word a and just given the word style a plural. So we differ in, because we differ in thinking, my boss and I have different lifestyles. We could say it like that as well. Both of those are correct. I'll give you another example. Okay, Hang, good sentence, thank you. 2, your turn. Would you have a go at creating a sentence now? Are you there? I don't think so. Okay, we'll move along. Wrong.
Okay, I choose bridge the gap.
Okay.
And my sentence is the uniform is compulsory for students to bridge the gap between the rich and poor.
Uniform is compulsory to sentence gap between poor. The uniform is not bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. I like that sentence. Well done. It's interesting you say that. I think that is the case as well. Sorry, my keyboard is playing. There we go. So the uniform is compulsory to bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. Very good sentence. I like that, Paul. Excellent. Thank you. Good use of that hidden in there. All right. Would you like to have a go at creating a sentence for us?
My sentence is by giving more scholarship to poor students, we can bridge the gap between poor people and rich people.
So by giving more, giving more what? Sorry.
More scholarship.
Scholarships to
poor students.
For students, we can bridge the gap
between poor people and rich people.
Between poor people and rich people. Okay, yeah, that works well. I'll also give you a slight change on that. That is correct. I'll give you another possible way that we could say that slightly to make it shorter. So we can bridge the gap between poor. And that would be another way of saying that sentence. By giving more scholarships to, and I should have spelt poor, like that, I do apologize, poor students, we can bridge the gap between the poor and the rich people. So we don't have to repeat the word people twice in the second part of that sentence. Can you see that? So we can say between the poor and rich people, rather than having to say between poor people and rich people. So repeating that word twice. Okay, as I said, your one was correct. But I think, again, a slightly nicer way to say it would be not having to repeat the word people twice.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Again, some nice sentences there from everyone. We'll move along to an essential structures exercise quickly here. We're going to be using, or the structure that we'll be using is the subject. What's the word prevent somebody or something from doing something? So with either a noun or an ing verb. So, for example, we could say the generation gap prevents us from talking to each other. Okay. So I think you guys will be quite good at this one. I'm going to ask you to create some example sentences using that structure. So remember, the subject, the word prevent or prevents or prevented, somebody or something, from, and then choosing a noun or an ing. We have some suggestions here if you wish to use them, or be pleased to create your own if you wish to. So Ming, would you like to have a quick go at creating a sentence for me using this structure?
The relationship between us and our family helped prevented us from separating.
That's a nice one. Relationship between, sorry, was it our family?
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Our family prevented us from separating. Okay, I like that. The relationship between our family prevented us from separating. Okay, I like that. Okay, very good, Ming. Jung, would you like to have a go at creating an example sentence for me?
Yeah. The difference in approaching a new problem prevent us from paying more respect for each other.
The difference in approaching a new problem prevents us from paying Was that more respect to each other or respect to each other?
And more respect for others' opinion. I think so.
Okay. So if it's an approach any problem prevents us from saying more. Yeah, it's an interesting sentence actually. I like that, but that works. So it's good use of that structure there. Thank you. Hang, your turn. Can you give us an example sentence now?
Yes. In my family, the renovation gap prevent us from understanding each other.
Understanding. Generation. Yep, cool. That's a good one. Good use. In my family, the generation gap prevents us from understanding. So, understanding. Like that, each other. Yeah. Each other. Okay, well done. Good sentence. 2, would you like to give us a sentence, please? 2 may have left the class. Wrong.
Okay, my sentence is it okay if it not relates to the generation gap?
Yes, that's fine, as long as you use it correctly.
Okay. The parasites prevent his red blood cell from circulating around his body.
His red blood cells from circulating his body. Parasites prevent his red blood cells from circulating around his body. Wow. Yep. Good use of that one. And that works. That's fine.
I think the word prevents doesn't have S because parasites, right?
The parasite prevents. Oh no, right. The parasite prevent is prevents. Either would be correct in that instance. So the parasites prevents his red blood cells from circulating around his body. We could be talking about something when we have the S on the end there. We are indicating that it could possibly it's something that will be happening in the future. If we was to use it just without the S. And the word prevent, we are making a statement there and saying the parasites prevent his blood cells. So we're talking about something that maybe has already happened. So if we were at the doctor's and the doctor was maybe explaining something to us, about maybe our father or someone, our friend. In one instance, if we just use the word prevent, he is telling us about the parasites prevent his red blood cells from circulating around his body. And so he's explaining what his condition or the parasites will be doing. But if we say the parasites prevents his red blood cells from circulating around the body, we are saying something that's already happened to him, and that is why he's in this condition. Does that sort of make sense? Do you understand?
Not really.
Okay. Maybe I'll explain it. I think of a better way of explaining that. Okay, so let me think about a better way of explaining that, and I'll just ask I to give us a sentence, and then I'll come back to you, Fung. Okay.
Okay.
Sorry, could you give me a sentence using this structure, please?
Yes. Spending your time with mobile phone too much prevents you from getting more successful.
Spending
your time
on a mobile phone prevents you from...
Getting more successful.
Okay, I would choose a better word. I would say becoming more successful. Would be a slightly better word to use in that sentence. So spending your time on a mobile phone prevents you from becoming more successful rather than getting more successful. That would be a better way to put it. Okay, well done. Some very good sentences from you guys. Let's see, what time have we got? Unfortunately, because we've spent some time doing the rest of the exercises, we don't really have time to do the conversational part of this class, so I apologise. But I think it's been a really good class anyway. I've been impressed with some of the sentences. It's been really nice. And I think we've got our views across anyway. Some quick feedback from me before we run out of time. There was only a couple of words today that I think I need to mention. I think earlier on in the class the word calm was mentioned, so make sure we pronounce or emphasize the M sound, so calm. The M sound is important, so calm, and I've picked up on that before in other classes. Maybe this was my hearing, but the word wrong, so wrong, the R sound is quite important in that word. Wrong is how we put it. So I gave the wrong answer in my exam. And a similar word which is young. Yeah, so the young boy gave the wrong answer, so young. And then the last word, which is something that's conclusion. 3 syllables in that word, so conclusion. So you could actually break it down into 3 bits like that, so conclusion, to pronounce that word. So those are the only 4 words that I picked up on from today's class. What else? And not that anyone made this mistake, but just to remember that if we are speaking about ourselves and other people within a sentence or a statement, that it is nice and very good English if we mention ourselves lastly. So when we were talking about my friend and I, or we could say Young, Tu, and I. So you say Young, Tu, and I went to the shop. So if we're doing that, it's quite good to do that. As I say, it's good proper English, we would say, when referring like that. Okay, so that's it from my point of view and for feedback. Are there any questions from anyone? I know, Fung, I've got to help you with you. Anyone else have any other questions?
No, thank you.
No, okay. Well done. So let's talk about the...
Jimmy. Yeah. I want to get to know about the problem with Fung's sentence.
Yeah, the parasites prevent and the parasites prevents. Either of those are, as I said, either of those are correct. And I'm just trying to think the best way of explaining this. Sorry, 2 seconds. I'm just seeing if I can get an explanation that will make it easy to understand. Oh, guys, 2 moments. Okay, right. Because we are running out of time. I think the easiest way for me to do this, I apologise because I need to go to another class, but there is a useful link there on how to use the word prevent and prevents and the difference of using it. I apologise because I've run out of time and I literally need to go to another class, unfortunately. So I apologise, everyone, for not being able to give you decent explanation on how to use that. But they both mean, roughly, they can be both used at the same time. So, okay?
Yes. Thank
Okay,
you.
sorry, yeah, I know it wasn't the best explanation, but I've run out of time, unfortunately. But thank you very much, guys, for a really good class. I was impressed with a lot of the sentences, the meaning, and the use of the language. So thank you. Goodbye, everyone. I hope you have a good morning and a lovely weekend.
Yes, thank you, teacher.
Thank you.
Have a nice weekend.
Yeah, you too, Fuang. Okay, bye.
Bye.